Hi guys, good morning. It's Liliana from Vanillandcanela here. Welcome back to Vlogtober. So today I'm going to answer all your questions. So I have written down all the questions you asked me and I'm just going to read it and answer them. Number one was from Sunflower Camp and she asks, where are you from? You say you are Portuguese. Where were you born or grew up? And do you like to cook? So I am from a little town called Santo Tirso, which is near Porto, which is in the north of the country. And I grew up there and I moved to England when I was 22, which was 19 years ago. I've just celebrated 19 years of being in the UK. And do you like to cook? Yes, I love to cook. These days I enjoy cooking quick, tasty meals for my family. I don't like spending the whole day in the kitchen. And then the next question is from Holly SP8. I'd love to hear about any family festive traditions you have and any crafts you might make. Okay, so growing up in Portugal, for my family, the most important day was actually the 24th. We would cook a cod meal, and this is like really traditional. Boiled cod, this is salted cod, boiled potatoes and boiled kale. It's a different kale, it's a flat leaf kale instead of the curly kale you can get in the UK. And then you serve it with like olive oil and that kind of stuff. It sounds not very appetizing, but it tastes amazing on the day. So that is the main meal. And afterwards, within sort of a couple of hours, someone would dress as Santa and come in and make a big hoo-ha. Most of the times we knew it wasn't Santa, and then we would open our presents. So when I moved to the UK, it was really hard to adjust to waiting until the next day to open the presents, and for many years Paul would have to give me something to open on the 24th. So yes, so then we had Alex, and I wanted for him to have something of that Portuguese tradition. So when I found out about the Christmas Eve boxes, I thought that was perfect. So on Christmas Eve, if you don't know what that is, I make Alex a little box, and inside there's a new pair of pajamas, a DVD, some chocolates, and maybe a little toy. I did do that last year and I filmed it for you guys. So if you want to see, I'll link it for you as usual. So yes, that's the main traditions. We do in Portugal, like in the couple of days leading up to Christmas, we make a lot of our desserts. And I'm thinking that I might do some of them for you guys. Now, I've written down what they are because, you know, I'm old and I forget stuff. But there's something called mexidos, and depending on where you live in the country, you call it mexidos or formigos. And it's kind of made with bread, nuts, port wine, syrupy, honey kind of stuff. And I was thinking that I might make that for you guys because it is delicious and I haven't made it for a couple of years. The other thing we do is rabanadas, and the rabanadas is kind of like a French toast, but then we pour port on it, you know, again, we do a syrupy thing that goes on top. So I might make that for you guys. That is really, really delicious. And we also have pão de ló, and I think I did make pão de ló last year. Wonder if I showed you guys or not. But pão de ló is just like a sponge cake, but it has very little flour in it, no baking powder, and the only way it rises is because you beat the eggs, and it has a lot of eggs for ages until they fluff up. Okay, so I'll definitely do that for you guys. But if I find a video where I've done that, I'll link it for you. Now, Holly also asks, any crafts you might make? For sure, I'm going to make crafts. I know that I'm going to make a trash to treasure challenge for Christmas, but I haven't yet decided. I need to start looking around, going on Pinterest and checking out what I can make this year. But for sure, I want to make stuff. And definitely Alex will love any stuff like that. So stay tuned. The next question is from Lorna F. and it is, what do you like, dislike about the various places you've lived in? Sorry. So when I moved to the UK, I moved to a town called Swindon, which is in the Wiltshire county, and I loved living there, love it. And it's still what I call my English home because I lived there for 6 years, and it is actually the place where I lived the longest, because once I got married, I moved around quite a lot, on average every 3 years. And the first place I moved to was Norfolk, and I hated it. I felt really isolated from all my friends. All my friends were still in Swindon. I found it really hard to find work, and I did temp work, so I was never treated very well by the companies. I wasn't there long enough, and I just pined for my friends in Swindon. So yeah, I hated it, and there was loads of tractors everywhere. I then moved to Cambridgeshire, and I was actually there for the longest. So the first one, I was there for 18 months, and then moved to Cambridgeshire, and I was there for 4 years. It's still my favourite post, and fingers crossed when we move out of here, we'll probably go back there. And I loved it. I just loved it. I loved being so close to Cambridge. We used to pop in all the time for shopping and sightseeing, and everything was around you, fairly close by, whilst in Norfolk, because Norfolk is quite agricultural place, everything was far. Everything, you know. I travelled at least 45 minutes for a crappy little job somewhere. And in Cambridgeshire, one, the pay was awesome, and two, everything was close by, you know. There's loads of little towns and villages that are so cute. I love. We then went back to Norfolk, okay, to the same place we were first, and the second time around, I loved it. I was at a different place in my life, I think, you know. I was only working part-time. I had time to meet the wives. We created this book club where no books were read, and we used to meet every Thursday at someone's house and just chat, and I met the most amazing group of people, and we got on and we had a ball, and I discovered all the little villages around. You know, there was like cute little pubs everywhere, and oh, the thing I loved the most was that you would just be driving along and there would always be little huts outside people's houses selling eggs, fruit, whatever fruit is in season, and flowers, and you would just stop, pick up a bag of, say, apples, and just put the money in a money box and be on your merry way, and you just had like fresh apples from someone's garden. I love that, and I really enjoyed my time there. We were there for 2 years the second time around, and from there we went to Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland is my favourite place, and it's the one I hated the most at the same time. Number one, it's where we made Alex. You know, Alex was born in Northern Ireland, and for that I will be eternally grateful and eternally connected to Northern Ireland. But it rained a lot. I mean, I like rain, but it rained a lot. I mean, every day, pretty much. I mean, I remember we went through the summer and there was like 2 weeks of heat with no rain, but that was it, because it rained a lot. The people were super friendly, love that, super friendly, and curious about you, you know, because they hear the different accent and they want to know what your deal is, what you're doing there. So really friendly. I was there for 3 years, and it gave us a chance as well to visit the Republic. And we went on holiday a couple of times, and oh my God, it's beautiful. I thought Northern Ireland was going to be like the Republic, you know, mainly because I don't know that much about, well, I didn't. As a foreigner, as a Portuguese person, I never studied the conflict between Northern Ireland, the UK, and, you know, the Republic. I never really knew about that. So anyway, let's not get into politics. The Republic is beautiful. It's super green, super cute. we went to Dublin, of course, beautiful city. And we also went to Bray, which is like a seaside town. Beautiful, beautiful. So I loved getting the chance to do that. And even though we said, oh, we'll definitely go back, we still haven't been back. And then from Northern Ireland, oh, let me just tell you though, the bit that I didn't like about Northern Ireland was the isolation. You know, after having Alex, I was very, very ill and no family around. You know, Paul's family was in England, mine was in Portugal, and we went through a little time that was really hard for me because I needed help. I had postpartum depression. It wasn't huge, but it was there, and I just felt really isolated. So that was the bit that I didn't like. It's not Northern Ireland's fault at all. It was just a part of my life, you know, that wasn't particularly nice. Then from Northern Ireland, we moved to where we are now. I love it here. I mainly love the house. The house is magnificent. And I know some of you guys are like, really? When it comes to quarters, this house is awesome. Okay. So I like the area. It's okay. Excuse me. I definitely prefer Cambridgeshire. But I think the thing that I'll miss the most about this place is the house, for sure. I'm quite ready to move, and we're hoping maybe next summer we'll be moving. I will be sad. I have got lovely friends here, but I'm happy to go. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Lorna. Now the next question comes from Heidi Loren. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you have any other favorite recipes, any cleaning material recipes? Now the cleaning recipes, I'll put a link for you guys below. I've done a couple of videos on that. I don't have anything new, you know, apart from those videos. So I'll definitely share with that with you guys. And do you have any favorite recipes? I don't have like favorite recipes. I love baking, and I'll see a recipe and I'll be like, I've got to try this right now, today. Which is why my baking cupboard is always stocked up, because I just want to try stuff. I love anything with seafood when it comes to normal food, squid and octopus, and oh my god, I love seafood. So yeah, but I don't have any like favorite recipes anymore, you know. I just, yeah, sorry. The next question is from Rita Zimmerman. What was hard to get used to, and what do you love? What do you now love? The hardest thing to get used to was the food. 100%. Portuguese food is spectacular when it comes to flavour and taste, and it's making me homesick just thinking about it. Without a shadow of a doubt, the food. Portuguese food has got so much more to it than English food. And I tell you what, the thing that it took me ages to actually try English food, because we have such huge amount of foreign food here, from Chinese to Italian to Indian, Thai. So yeah, for ages I was like, what is English food? And English food, I love it now. So your question is, what do you now love? I do love English food. Stuff like roast dinner. Roast dinner is awesome. I also love cottage pie and fish pie. The sausages, you do like, here they do loads of different sausage flavours. I love that. So the food, definitely. The other thing I missed, obviously, was my family. You know, I am so used to not having them around now, but I did really miss them. But saying that, when I moved over here, I loved the freedom. I loved not having to answer to anyone, being my own person, being judged for me and not for my family. I come from a very small town, and my parents were quite well known. They're not like celebrities or anything like that, but it's a small town. they were well known. So everything I did as a young person, it would be reported to my parents. When I moved over here, I loved the fact that no one cared. No one cares what you do. It's your business. I love that about the British. I love it. I loved walking down the road and knowing that I could just be me. And nothing I do is going to impact my family. Not that I ever wanted to do something really bad, but I could wear whatever I wanted and be whoever I wanted to be. And what that meant is that I was able to be me, be free to express myself and do what I want and do some rebellious stuff. But I think I'm glad I did it, because it made me a better person. It made me the person that I am today. I never fitted in Portugal. You know, I love my country, but this is where I belong, without a shadow of a doubt. I love the way I was accepted, and I fitted in, you know, like I didn't feel like I needed to be Portuguese here. I could just be me, you know. I know that this probably sounds silly, but this country was everything I wanted it to be. You know, it was somewhere where I could be empowered, master of my own destiny. And I love that about England. You know, I'll forever be grateful for the country that welcomed me and let me be me. Did I waffle on a bit? I did. I can see, like, this video I've been rambling on. So anyway, I hope I've answered all your questions. If you have any others, leave me a comment below and I'll answer them directly. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Vlogtober. Bye guys.